under the warm evening lights of the downtown cafe. Ethan Cole checked his watch for the third time. 7 p.m. sharp. She was supposed to be here. He'd ironed his only good shirt. Even rehearsed how he'd introduce himself. A friend had set him up on this blind date, saying, "You deserve to smile again, man. It's been 3 years since Lily." He didn't like talking about his late wife, but tonight was supposed to be a step forward. Now, 20 minutes had passed. The candle on his table flickered in the cool breeze that drifted through the open doors, carrying the faint sound of city traffic and laughter from passing couples. But not her. No text. No call. Just an empty seat across from him. Ethan sighed and stood up, tossing a few bills on the table. Maybe this was a sign, he thought. Maybe I'm not ready after all. He stepped outside, heading toward the parking lot, when he heard hurried footsteps, light, uneven, and desperate. Mister. 2 little girls, maybe 7 or 8, came running down the sidewalk. Identical, except one had a bandage across her knee. Their cheeks were streaked with tears, hair messy like they'd been running 4 blocks. Please, the taller one gasped. They hurt our mom. They beat her. The other cried. She's dying. Ethan froze. Where is she? He asked, his heart suddenly pounding. They pointed toward an alley behind the cafe. Without another word, he sprinted after them. In the dim light behind a dumpster, he found a woman crumpled on the ground. Blood trickled from her lip. Her hands trembled as she tried to push herself up. Ma'am, can you hear me? Ethan knelt beside her, pulling off his jacket to cover her. She looked up at him weakly, and that's when his heart stopped. He knew that face. It's the same woman from the dating profile. The one who was supposed to meet him tonight. Claire, ... Key whispered. Her eyes widened. Ethan, she murmured before her head tilted back. Consciousness fading. He called 911, pressing his jacket against her wounds, voice steady, though his hands shook. Hang in there, Claire. Help's coming. Your girls are safe. When the ambulance arrived, the medics took her away. The twins clung to Ethan's legs, refusing to let go. Can you come with us? The younger one sobbed. Please, don't leave. He didn't. He rode in the ambulance, held their hands, and promised it would be okay, though he had no idea how. 3 hours later, Ethan sat in the sterile hospital waiting room with 2 sleeping girls leaning against his shoulders. A nurse came over quietly. She'll be all right, she said softly. You saved her life. If you hadn't stopped the bleeding, she might not have made it. Ethan exhaled, the weight of the night finally catching up to him. When Claire woke up the next morning, her first words were, "Are the girls okay?" He smiled. They're fine. Brave little angels. Tears welled in her eyes. I'm sorry. I was on my way to meet you. My ex, he showed up. Angry, I was moving on. Her voice broke. You don't have to explain, Ethan said gently. You're safe now. For a long moment, silence filled the room. The kind of silence that didn't need words. Just 2 souls who'd been through enough pain to recognize healing when they saw it. Weeks passed. Ethan started visiting often, first to check on Claire, then to help with the girls. He fixed the squeaky door at her apartment, drove them to school, even learned how to braid hair after a few YouTube tutorials and a lot of giggles. The girls adored him. Claire, she was learning to smile again. One evening, as they all sat on the porch watching the sunset, Claire looked at him and said softly, You were the date who never gave up on me. Ethan chuckled. I guess I just took a different route to find you. She reached for his hand. Maybe this was how it was meant to be. The girls giggled between them, their laughter filling the quiet dusk, a sound that felt like hope itself. In the end, Ethan realized something. Asterisk, sometimes. Life doesn't break you to punish you. It breaks you to redirect you. Asterisk, to lead you where you were meant to be all along. Asterisk, and that night, when two frightened little girls ran toward him, crying for help, he thought his story had ended. Asterisk, but really, it had just begun. The next few days felt like something out of a dream for Ethan. Every morning, he found himself stopping by the hospital with a cup of warm coffee and a small bouquet, nothing fancy, just wildflowers from a stand near the corner. Claire always smiled when he walked in, that gentle kind of smile that carried gratitude and disbelief, as if she still couldn't understand why a man she barely knew was doing all this. Asterisk, the twins, Ella and Sophie, had begun to trust him completely. They'd wait by their mom's bed, showing him drawings they made while she rested. "This is you," Sophie said one morning, handing him a crayon picture of a man with a blue jacket and a big smile. "You're our hero." Asterisk. Ethan laughed, though the word hero felt too heavy. "I just happened to be there," he said softly. Asterisk. Claire looked at him, her eyes tender. "No, Ethan, you chose to stop. Most people wouldn't have." Asterisk. That night, he thought about that word, chose. Maybe kindness wasn't about grand gestures or destiny. Maybe it was simply choosing to stay when walking away would have been easier. Asterisk. When Claire was discharged, Ethan drove them home. Her apartment was small, but filled with warmth. Children's books stacked on a worn sofa, a few framed photos on the wall, and a tiny potted plant trying its best to survive on the windowsill. She looked embarrassed as she unlocked the door. "It's not much," she said. Asterisk. "It's a start," Ethan replied. "And starts are what matter, okay?" Asterisk. Over the next few weeks, he kept showing up, fixing her leaky faucet, cooking breakfast for the girls, or sitting with Claire on the porch after the twins were asleep. They talk about everything, about loss, fear, dreams, and second chances. Asterisk. One evening, Claire told him something that broke him a little. "That night, when they hurt me, I thought I wouldn't make it. But when I opened my eyes and saw you holding my girl's hands, I thought maybe I was meant to survive." Asterisk. Ethan swallowed hard. "We all survive for a reason, Claire. Sometimes it just takes a while to find out why." Asterisk. Spring slowly painted the city in color. The cafe where it all began reopened its patio, and one Saturday, Claire insisted they all go. The same place where she'd never made it to their first date. This time, she sat across from him, healthy, smiling, her daughters laughing over hot chocolate. Asterisk. "I think," she said with a soft grin, "we should finish what we started that night." Asterisk. Ethan chuckled. "You mean dinner?" Asterisk. She nodded. "And maybe the rest of that story, too." Asterisk. He reached across the table, his hand finding hers. "I'd like that." "Okay." Asterisk. As the sun dipped behind the buildings, the twins ran circles around them, their laughter echoing through the air. It wasn't a perfect family, not yet, but it was real, built from kindness, courage, and timing that could only be called fate. Asterisk. Ethan looked at Claire, her eyes bright with life again, and realized something simple but powerful sometimes. The people we're meant to find don't arrive at the perfect time or in the perfect way. Sometimes they come running out of nowhere, carrying broken pieces that somehow fit perfectly with our own. Asterisk. And as the night settled softly around them, Ethan finally smiled. Not the smile of a man waiting for someone to show up, but the smile of a man who'd already found what he didn't know he was looking for.